Hey everybody, this is Alex. Thanks for joining me again for a quick video tutorial, this time on how to create your own customized ESXi image. Now, some out there might ask, why would one want to or need to create their own customized image? And from my perspective, that's a great question, and I have a fairly simple answer for you. A lot of people out in the virtualization community, including myself, are big home virtualization lab enthusiasts, and we build our own lab environments using desktop equipment, aka white boxes, or even just nested virtualization lab environments. And a lot of times we may need to add additional drivers that have been deprecated from the ESXi software in order to install properly on our systems. Another reason is simply that we may just want to add additional software capabilities to our images for use with nested virtualization labs, or what have you. Today I'm going to show you how I create a customized image for my home or nested virtualization lab environments using a simple PowerShell script and PowerCLI. The script that I'm going to show you was created by an awesome blogger in the virtualization community. He goes by the name of Andreas Peets at his blog site VMware Front Experience. I will be sure to show you his website, and I'll also be sure to include all the links that I show in this video in the description below. So let's go ahead and get started. I have a web browser open here directly to his website, which you can see here is vfront.de, and I've gone ahead and clicked on the ESXi-Customizer-PS tab, which will bring you to the link where you can go ahead and download the latest version of his script, which is fully compatible with creating customized images of version 5.x and the newer version 6.0 of vSphere. If you scroll down a little more, I'll show you descriptions of how to use the script. So definitely a great read before using this script. Be sure you familiarize yourself with it. I've gone through this a few times, so I find that I'm fairly familiar with it now, and I'm going to hopefully be able to show you with ease on how to create your own customized image. Just to start off, some of the things that I want to install into my image are some customized flings that you can find over here from the labs.vmware.com/flings page. And some of them that I've opened up tabs for already are the ESXi embedded host client, which is a brand new fling that just was released back in August, which is basically a vSphere client, an HTML5 version of the vSphere client that'll let you connect directly to an ESXi host rather than having to use the C#, aka FAT client. Please note that this is still in beta form, so not all of the functionality has been included yet into it, but hopefully they will have another release soon, and VMware will then hopefully decide to include this with all of their newer releases going forward. Please also note that this embedded host client only works with vSphere 5.5 Update 3, which was just released, and with version 6.0. Another one that I'm going to install is VMware tools for nested ESXi, and this helps to install VMware tools for your nested ESXi hosts so that you can start them up, power them down, or what have you, just like you would any other virtual machine in your environment. And another one that I want to install as well for nested virtualization labs is the esx-i-maclearn filter, which helps for better network connectivity to your nested virtual ESXi hosts, so that traffic gets passed to the appropriate NIC accordingly, instead of getting passed to all NICs that are attached to that virtual host. Lastly, I want to show you directly from the VMware Front Experience. He also has an online depot where he has a lot of these same drivers and packages included in his own repository that we can connect to using the script, and it will automatically download those packages and install them into our image. And I'm actually going to use that in this video, as well as having a few files that I downloaded manually, which I will put into a certain directory that I will have the script look into in order to generate and a custom image with those new packages in there. I've gone ahead to his link here, and these are all the available packages that are available for ESXi. So I'm going to be installing this network driver, the ESXi tools, the embedded host client. I'm also going to add this SATA AHCI, CPU microcode, depending on which version of the ISO I'm trying to create, and the DV filter, the McLearning filter that I just explained before. So also what I've done is I've created a directory to do all this work from on my local disk. So when the images are exported out, they will be saved into these folders that I created in my working directory here. So what I'm going to do here is start PowerCLI. And this is the newest version of PowerCLI 6.0 R2. As I mentioned, this can also just be run directly from PowerShell itself, but using PowerCLI is the preferred method. So I'm going to go ahead now here and change over to the working directory that I created. And I have the script located in here. So I'm going to call that script, and I'm going to use the help parameter to list out how the usage of this script works and all the optional parameters that you can use in order to generate your image. So what I'm going to do here is, again, call the script, and I'll start listing out my parameters that I want to use. So the first thing that I want to do is specify the version of the image that I'm going to create. In this case, this is going to be 5.5, so v55. And by default, the script will always connect to the VMware repository and download the latest image that was released from VMware for the version that you're trying to create. So in this case, if I just leave it as v55, it's going to download the latest image for version 5.5 update 3 that was released. There is a way to go ahead in there and specify an alternate image that you want to use, and that's by using this -sip, which is select image profile, and that will basically list out a bunch of different images that it found on the repository, and then you can select which one it is that you want to create. I will show you how to do that a little bit later on, but first let's just go ahead with the default by selecting the most recent release. So the next option that I want to do is have the script connect to the vFront repository, where we can pull some of the packages down automatically. So that's VFT, and then you need to use the load option. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and start listing out all of the different packages that I showed you before from his repository. So I'll go ahead and start typing these in. Just put a comma in between them. Okay, so those are all of the packages directly from his repository that I want to load. The next thing that I'm going to do is actually specify a local directory using this option, package dir, for any additional VIBs or offline bundles that I want to include into my image. I have downloaded a VIB and another offline bundle. One of them is just a VAAI plugin for Synology NAS, which I have in my environment. So I want to load the plugin for that. And I have downloaded an offline bundle of the ESXi embedded host client, which is just a newer version than the one that I believe is provided on his repository, which just contains a simple metadata fix. So they changed the version number when they released that one with the fix, but the VIB is still with an older version number. So in this case, I'm going to specify pkg dir for package directory. And then we'll go over here and use a simple quick method shortcut, which is just to click on the directory I want and drag it into the PowerCLI window. And we can see here that it went ahead and listed that directory that it's going to check. The next thing that I want to do is specify an output directory, so that when the image is exported, it will export it out to a directory of my choosing. By default, as noted here, it's it'll export it out to the script directory. So wherever you are running the script from, it's automatically going to export it out to that same directory. In my case, I have a specific folder that I want it to generate to, so I'm going to list that folder out. So in my case, that was v test ISOs. I have 5.5, and I have 3 different update folders for different images that I had created. So this one I'm going to use update 3, since I know by default it's going to pull the latest version of ESXi, which is currently update 3. The next option that I want to use is log, for it to specify a log output directory. As noted here also, by this option, the default location is going to be in the temp directory, and this is the default name of the log file, but I don't want it to put it in this temp directory. I want it to actually put it in the same place that I'm generating the ISO. So I'm going to specify this same location. Update 3, and then I still have to give a name to the file, so I'm going to use the exact same name as its default, ESXi ps.log. And the final option that I like to use every time is this one here, which is the NSC, which is no signature check with the export. I have run into it at times where if I did not use this when it's exporting out the image, sometimes it will run into an error and it will fail to export the image. So if you use this option, you have a better successful chance of the export completing without any errors. So I'm going to go ahead and let it do the no signature check. So now that I have everything loaded, we'll go through it again. It's calling the script. I'm telling it to export out or give me an image of version 5.5, which will be the latest version, update 3. I want it to connect to the vFront depot and then load these packages right from his repository, and then check a package directory that I have manually created and added a few packages to, and then output the ISO image to this directory, give me a log file in this directory with that name, and then no signature check. And I'll just go ahead and hit enter. And I got a fatal error that the log file cannot be opened, bad file path or missing permission. Not sure why that happened, but let's see if we can just run it again successfully and hopefully it'll go. If not, I will just remove the line there for the log output and let it generate in its own spot until I go back and fix the permission issue, which is most likely the problem that I'm having. Okay, I ran it again and now it seems like it accepted it, so maybe it's just a quick little glitch or hiccup that it had real quick. But we can see here that it's going to make that log file, what version of PowerShell it's running, and PowerCLI. It connected successfully to the ESXi online depot for it to pull down the latest image. Right now it's trying to connect to the vFront online depot, and sometimes, it will take a few moments for it to connect. So we will just stand by and wait. There we go. So it connected okay. Now it's getting the image profile, and we can see that it's using this image 5.50 with this build number, really a date number that's on here, and then it's loading the offline bundles and vid packages from that package directory, which I told it to, and then loading the optional the additional vibs and offline bundles from the vFront repository. So I could see here, I guess apparently in version 5 in 5.5 update 3 they must have added this driver back into the default image. So that's why it's telling me that it's ignored, because it's already added. And also here the esxi-ui, which is the embedded host client, is being ignored already as well, because I told it to install from the package directory where I had manually downloaded it. So I guess his online repository has been updated now to include that latest version, which I actually did reach out to him and request him to update. So it seems that he must have done that. And now it's going through. We'd see it's exporting the image to the location that I specified, and it's giving it this name right here. And now it's done. So that was actually pretty quick. So we'll confirm that it did generate that image. So let's go over here to my 5.5 update 3, and here we go. Here's the image that it created, and here's the log file that I told it to generate, which is basically just showing the same stuff from that PowerCLI window. Okay. So what we'll do then also is let's go ahead and create a version 6.0 update 1 image. So basically I'll just load this back up, and I will change some of my text here to specify the correct location that I want. So this will be 6.0 update 1. We want this one as well here to be 6.0 update 1. The same package directory. One thing I have to change here now is the microcode, because for 6.0 it just uses CPU microcode instead of CPU 5. I can leave the ESXi-UI. By default, ESXi 6.0 has the nested ESXi VMware tools included, so I can actually remove this option here as it's no longer needed. And then I'm going to change this to 6.0. And we will go ahead and run this one. So same things as before. We could see that it's going to log it out to the 6.0 directory of my choosing, and it's connecting to the ESXi repository. Now also connecting to the vfront repository. And then we'll do the same things. It's going to check the package directory that I specified, and then load any additional VIBs that I told it to load from the vfront online depot. And then it will go ahead and start exporting that image. So we could see here that with 6.0, it actually did need to add this driver in. So we could see that it said OK, and it's going to replace the current NIC driver package that was included with 6.0 update 1 to the one that I needed for my custom white box. We can also see here that it's replacing the CPU microcode with a newer version 7 than the one that was included with the image 6. Please note that some of these are also, you use them at your own risk. So just be sure to test your image and make sure that everything works as expected when you're creating your image, or when you're actually installing your image, I should say. Excuse me. And once this one finishes, we will go ahead and validate that it created the image as well in the directory of my choosing. And then I'll go in there and I'll show you one last way to run this script. We'll do a 5.5 version again, and we'll do update 2 using that SIP option where we can choose exactly which image it is that we want to create, rather than it pulling and detecting and pulling the latest image from VMware. I want to specify a specific image to use. Okay, excellent. Looks like it's finished successfully. Let's go back over here into the 6.0 update 1 directory, and excellent. We see that it was generated, and we do have a log file as well showing us the output that was shown in the PowerCLI screen. So now we'll go back then. Let's do another 5.5 update 2. I'll just navigate to that directory in advance, and we'll go here. I'm just going to press up twice to get back to my original 5.5 line that I had written out here. So this one I'm going to, let's do an update 2 ISO image. So we'll change these to update 2. I know that the ESXi UI will not work in update 2 as it's only update 3 and 6.0, so we will remove that. And then what I'm going to do here is also add the option SIP instead. So now when I hit enter, it's going to then connect to the VMware repository and detect all the images that it has on VMware, and then it'll give me an option to select which image it is that I want to use. So we'll go ahead here, make sure that I have everything correct, which looks like I do, and we will hit enter. So same things as before. Now it's going to log this out to this directory, update 2, connected to ESXi. It's going to connect to the online depot. Now it's getting the image profiles, and here's an entire list that it found of all of the images available that it detected a version 5.5 from the repository. So we know this one right here, which number 1 is the latest. You have standard and one with no VMware tools included. I always like to use the standard so that it has VMware tools. So now we need to find out which one is update 2, the most recent one before update 3 was released. And a good way to find this out is actually to go back to our web browser, and back on the vFront Experience page, he also has a ESXi patch tracker link. So we can click on this link, which I've already done before and for version 5.5, and we can go here and we could see these were all the dates that all the images were released. So we could see here, if I clicked on this one, update 2, which is when update 2 was released, that was back on September 9th of 2014. That'll bring me right down to that that version, and it will list out the name right here of that image profile that it's going to use. So I want to actually go to the most recent update 2, so I will click on the last one right here before update 3, which was on May 8th of 2015, and that was the last one right here that VMware released before they released their update 3 image. So that's this one here, May 8th of 2015. Here's the image profile name, which will be this build number here. So I'm going to go ahead then and see here, 2015 05 04 001 standard. So if I go back to here, 2015 05 04 001 standard, looks like that's option number 5. So if I click on, if I enter 5 as my selection and then enter, it's going to use this image right here, which is the one that we verified from his patch tracker. Additionally, this one here, this 5.5 with the S at the end here, standard, that may as well also be a more recent update 2 image. I don't believe it to be, though. I believe it to be more current to update 3, and these are just additional drivers that were added to it. So I want to make sure that I use this one from May of 2015. So I entered in 5, I'll hit enter, and now we can see it's using that image profile that we selected, and it's going to run through the same exact stuff. Loading all of the VIBs that I wanted, replacing the NIC driver that was included in there. Adding in the ESXi tools. And now it's exporting this image. to the update to directory. So let's just give this a few moments in as well, and hopefully it'll generate the image successfully, and we'll validate that that the image was there. Let's go ahead and minimize that window in the background. Okay, great. Looks like it finished. Let's go ahead and confirm that we have that. We do. This is in the update to directory. We see that that was the version that we chose and created custom. And here is the log output that we told it to log out to. Everything that was shown in the PowerCLI window, and the end time when the script was done. So that's basically it, guys. I've had a great time here showing you how to use ESXi-Customizer PowerCLI script to generate your own customized image. I hope that this has been informative for you, and I thank you for viewing.